What's up, my beautiful badasses? I don't know why I bounce like this when I say that, but it's like become a thing, and I'm just going to keep doing it. When it happens, it happens. How are you this beautiful? Actually, it's not beautiful here, but it is a glorious Friday because it is Friday, and we are in the Badass Funnel Fiesta where we will be funneling like a badass. I don't know where I'm going with all of this. I'm just excited. I'm so excited for today. Do you want to know why? I know you want to know why because here you are. I have one of my most favorite people as my guest today. And if you are not following Christian on her social media, if you look at all of the graphics that I made, I specifically put her as a content creator because it is her content that is so funny. Let's be clear. I think we all know this. I am not a woo-woo type person, but I love consuming everything that Christian puts out. And I love the insight that she gives me every time we have a lot of conversations through the week. And she's always like, by the way, if you're interested, like today, she said, I was talking about my next big summit, the weeks that I was choosing from. And it happened that my second date was on a full moon. And she said, participants might be grouchy and your engagement might be low because it's the full moon. I'm like, well, I'm glad I decided not to pick that day. So I hope that you love her as much as I do. I'm going to bring her up here and we're going to have a fun time talking about fighting the sun because that's what she does. And it is going to be a grand day. So, Christian, I just noticed. Yeah, fight the sun. I happened to just notice that you also have some of my favorite earrings on. Tell the people about your earrings.
Okay, yeah. So this is Michael and this is Bolton. They are lightning bolts in case you are uncaffeinated today.
That's funny because my husband asked me a question earlier today before I had coffee and I did not understand what he was asking me. And so I responded the way that I thought he was asking. And then he responded back completely different. I'm like, I'm so confused. Are you okay? He said, are you okay? And I said, no, I am not okay. And he said, neither am I. So here we are. But now I've got the caffeine. But another reason that I was really excited to bring you up here, and here's the important part, friends, as much as I love Christian and her content, Christian is pretty relatively new to the entrepreneur space. So I wanted to give you a different perspective when it comes to thinking about funnels and things like that. And we actually had a very short conversation right before we jumped on here that I wanted to expand upon because this is probably something that whether you're new in business or not is going through your head, right? So, Christian, we were talking about the events that you're doing, the live events. It is a collaboration with some of my other favorite people.
Yes, our channel panel on Twitch.
I wonder if this is Christine who says you're interviewing a famous trio. And again, I was confused because there are only two of us, but then I realized she was talking about Michael and Bolton. So their reputation precedes them, I guess.
They have a fan following. It's out of my hands now.
Dude, you should totally make a TikTok channel to Michael and Bolton.
Ooh, I like that. My body likes that too. I got chills.
Right? Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Anyway, so back on point because we do not have time for the rabbit holes that we are so good at going down. Okay, this event. First of all, tell me about the event. And then if you remember the question that you asked me, because I kind of remember, you probably remember it a little closer, but then ask me the question again, okay?
All right. So to be clear, you're saying that I have a good memory? Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's false. That's
Actually, since you asked me the question, I remember it much better than what I told you in response. So we'll be fine on the question, but tell us about the event before people start jumping off because we're like all over the place.
Okay. The channel panel on Twitch. It's me, it's Dira Kali, it's Jordi Chevalier, and we are talking about tarot and astrology and human design, how they all intersect, and how you can use them to leverage whatever it is you're trying to do in your life, your business, your personal life, whatever. Yeah, we're looking at the stars, we're looking at the cards, all of it.
How often do you do these events?
We are still working out a schedule, but it is my understanding that we're going live on Saturday, and then we did one on Tuesday, so we might try to do it on Tuesdays. You know how hard it is to schedule between 4 people?
Yeah, I do. You have to almost like pick a day 3 weeks out for that to be the time and date. And then until you hit that day, you just fill it in based on everybody else's schedule.
Yeah, so we're trying to be better about that and actually advertise it before the day that it's happening.
Sorry, I was making sure I was live in the YouTube. Yeah, and that's hard to do too, because sometimes sometimes you just don't know, there's so much stuff that can, especially when you have multiple calendars to consider. Right now, Saturday's at 1. Oh, wait, is this Dira?
That's probably Lisa.
Oh,
Lisa is our master of ceremonies and our resident Virgo.
Resident Virgo.
All in the details.
Okay, so now, just in case you don't remember the question that you asked me, when we were talking about this event right before we hopped on here, you said, I don't really know if that counts as a funnel. Do you remember asking me that?
I do vaguely recall saying that now.
Okay, so now that I've sparked because I really want I want them to hear it from your perspective, the question and your thoughts, because I can tell you everything is a funnel. There should be a funnel process for everything. So ask me your question again and how it's framed in your head now.
Okay, I think you told me my question was, does that qualify as a funnel? What is a funnel even? I've heard you say the word funnel a lot, and I think this might be that, but I'm not sure. And I don't know if I'm being too literal brain about this.
Oh, are you being serious right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. So the reason that I had to ask if you were being serious, because I would consider you one of my super fans. So you hear me say these things all the time, right? So thank you for giving me the opportunity to address this with people who maybe haven't heard this before. Everything, let me take a step back. When I say the word funnel, I mean it is the process, the strategy, what the client journey looks like for your potential client, a lead, whatever you want to call them, to go from just learning about you to liking you a little bit to taking you up on your freebies to giving you all the money, right?
Yes.
So in this case, and funnels, friends, does not mean a landing page. I know we are used to the verbiage from ClickFunnels. Everybody says funnel now, and I cringe because they're literally only talking about the landing page, and it is so much more than that. Funnels are a strategy. It is a plan, and it takes your people through the process while you glitter your genius on them. So absolutely, live events are a funnel. The trick to this is to know, A, how you drive traffic to the event, how you get them engaged in the event. On the back end, what's the next step from the event? So is it another freebie, or are you making an offer straight up so that they are taking advantage of a product or service that you offer? Is that helpful?
That is helpful. In this moment, I have heard what you said, but in a few minutes, I will have forgotten, and I will have to watch this replay, and it will be very...
Good news. Yes, there will be a replay. And if I drop this into Descript, hopefully you didn't just freeze, or maybe it's me. Are you still there? Most important is the follow-up. That is absolutely right. Okay, so while I'm seeing if Christian comes back, and hopefully I'm not the one that froze, let's get some comments up here. It is Lisa in the background. Hello, Lisa. Here's another Facebook user saying hello. Yeah, it's Christian. Dang it. Important or follow-up is super important, and that's a whole nother story. She froze recordings. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a tip because Christian will watch this again, and I know that I just said that. She's probably thinking just the tip because that's the way she rolls, and I love it. But One thing that you can do anytime you do these type of live events is take your recording, create a transcript, and then create new content from your transcript. Turn that into either a freebie or maybe a paid offer, whatever that looks like for you. I don't know who just said they love my hair today, but let me tell you, this is not washed hair. I am going to share way too much information. For those of you who don't know me very well, I have some pretty severe mobility issues. And so I have a shower chair in my shower. And every night I have to have my kids set up my shower. And my husband came home last night and took the shower chair out of the shower and didn't put it back. Gosh darn it. And I've complained to him now like 6 times. Oh, here comes Christian back. But thank you for making my day on my hair. That is fantastic.
I'm back. I think
my hello. Internet is stupid. It's fine. It's great. So we were talking about the replay, and I gave them a little tip for watching replays and transcripts and all of the fun things. And now I forgot what I was going to ask you. Gosh darn it.
I was talking about how it would be really surreal to watch a replay where I'm inside of it.
Right? If this is not the first Badass Funnel Fiesta, right? If you've been in any of them, you know that Christian is literally blowing up my chat, right? She distracts me in the chat. And so now I'm so excited. There are so many other people in here today, but it's not Christian. So that's weird for me too. Okay, so what else were we going to talk about? We were going to talk about your event, which did I have the event for that? Do I have? Here we go.
The channel panel.
Okay. Here's a link that you can connect all things Christian that's going across the bottom, and I'll put it in the comments too. But you can find the Twitch event there as well. And I bet if Lisa's watching, she probably has a link handy too.
Yes.
I can't multitask for some reason. I had all these things I wanted to ask you, and now I'm just totally spacing out. What a terrible interviewer. Tell me more about what made you get started? What made you start your business?
Oh, it turns out that I can't work for someone else because I am done accepting bullshit. And that's literally it. Like, I have to work for myself because I can't put up with anyone else, and I can barely put up with myself.
I'm my worst boss.
I'm the best boss and the worst boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I feel that too, because I do not deal well with people. Well, all of the things, right? Like, they have their own agendas and they can't do stuff in a timely manner, and nobody gets stuff done when they're supposed to. So I agree with you. I could not work with anybody else either. And what made you go into astrology, tarot readings?
It turns out, so I did not grow up this kind of girl. I was anti all of this. But it turns out I got to rock bottom, and I was just like kind of reaching out, and like what just landed in front of me was astrology and then tarot. Like, it was concurrent with all the mental health content I was consuming, and they just came in together. Am I dropping in and out again?
No, you're good so far.
Okay, I saw my screen doing things. So, okay. But yeah, it was basically just that. It was part and parcel of my mental health journey. The content just showed up, and I was just like, ooh, that's cool. And I just picked up the cards really intuitively. I kind of just knew what I was doing really quickly, even though I did have to battle some imposter syndrome. But once I got really confident, I know, right? Once I got confident and I knew I was a bad bitch, then, like, I'll blow your mind.
You are a bad bitch. That is for sure. These are some great questions. Facebook user who says you understand when I explain a funnel, feel free to reach out and we can talk about some things, because I can't see who anybody's name is today on Facebook for some reason. All things Christian, including, oh, look at that. Was that you, Christian?
It's not. I did consider doing that, but no, it's not.
Perfect. Okay. And what do you think so far? Because you've come, how long have we known each other? It hasn't been that long. Less than a year for sure. Has it been a year yet?
I joined the Wednesday group in November, I want to say.
Okay. So actually getting close to a year.
Oh my gosh.
Because friends, November, what happens in November? Black Friday. Have you started thinking of, oh, Christian, yes. Have you started thinking about your Black Friday deal? First, are you going to do a Black Friday deal?
You know, I've heard you ask this question so many times, and I still don't know.
And that's fine, because Black Friday deals aren't for everybody, right? Maybe you don't want to do one this year, but because we're talking about November, it was a natural path for me to ask. And you probably heard me in the networking event that we were in on Wednesdays, challenge everybody to sit with A, do you want to do a Black Friday special this year? And B, what might that look like? So you're still deciding if you want to do something?
I could do my guidebook on how to get a tarot reading. Unless I write another book before then, which no, I'm not doing that. Stop.
That's great. Oh man, so many things here, because I don't want to give away too much, but it was a interesting event, you writing the guidebook, right? Let me put the link for that up too. Let's talk about what the guidebook is first, so it makes sense when I put the link up.
Okay. So my guidebook on how to get a tarot reading will help you feel more comfortable going to a reader and getting a reading. It will not teach you how to read cards yourself. That is an important distinction that I take every opportunity to yell.
And why should I put the link up, right? I did. So why should they go get this guidebook right now? That's free, by the way.
Because tarot is an excellent resource to help you do feelings with cards. That is one of my favorite things to do with it, is just kind of identify my feelings, sort them out, tell me how I feel about some bullshit. It also helps me make practical decisions. Like I make business decisions using cards, which I bet you didn't know you could do that.
I only know because you have explained it, demonstrated it. I've seen you pull cards several times in business events, and it makes sense every time that you do it. I would never have thought of it otherwise.
Yeah, like in one of my recent readings, somebody asked me, like, should I open an Etsy shop? And I pulled cards and I was like, how is this going to go if you open an Etsy shop? And cards are like, absolutely not. If you start that shit, you're going to run away. You're going to get discouraged and run away.
So did she start an Etsy shop?
I do not know. I will have to touch base with them.
Be interested to know. And then in a year, I'd be interested to know how it turned out. Okay, so we were kind of hinting, and this is typical for people. This is typical for me even. I have all these genius ideas, and some of them are pretty big, right? So I get into this project, and the guidebook for you was an ordeal, right?
It sure was. It was one of the first things I wanted to do when I started my business. And it's because people all around me, they were like, we don't even know what this is. We want to support you, but I don't know how this works. And it makes me itchy. So like, what can I do to make you feel more comfortable? How can I overcome those objections? And it turned out the answer was write a book about it. Do words.
Do words. What was the biggest struggle for you creating that guidebook? Because it took you much longer than you anticipated.
Overcoming perfectionism. That's the biggest one. and then just like getting too in my head about it. So I had to pull myself out of my head. And
Let's
that's
talk
hard.
about, yeah, well, it's always hard. Yeah. Our inner voice, which I have recently started calling Hilda, thanks to one
Coach
of my good,
Jenny.
yes, Coach Jenny, who has been a guest on this show. I read her book last weekend, and so I have adopted the term Hilda for the inner voice that's not a nice person. And so how did you get through those perfectionism issues? Because I'm a recovering perfectionist. It took me a really long time to adapt to it's better to get started and take messy action than for it to be perfect. What worked for you, especially as a new entrepreneur? Whew, can't talk.
What actually happened is I was talking to another one of my friends who was doing a content course, not a content course, just a course. And no, wait, it was her workbook. So she put out version 1 of her workbook and then like 6 months later made a bunch of edits and repackaged it. So I was like, I can make a second version to clean up all the sloppy bullshit.
Yes.
Just put it out there as version 1.0 and then it gets better. It doesn't have to be perfect on the first chance. It literally doesn't. And it's fine.
Yeah, I feel the same way about it. Took me a hot minute to put out my pre-launch ebook, and now I've been sitting even longer. There are edits that I want to do to it because right now it has social media posts in it, right? It does not even address emails. So I want to create a new version to do that, and I keep not doing it. But you're absolutely right. Anything that you put out there doesn't have to be the final project. The final product, you can always make changes to it, and I think that's important for people. Once you accept that and believe it, it's easier for you to get through the blocks that perfectionism brings because you're scared of it not being perfect.
Yeah. And I would say the second thing that helped me out was, and I heard this from several different people, like if you're just holding this back and this is something that people need, you're keeping people from getting access to your brilliance. Like you could be
Yeah.
helping people today instead of 6 months from now when maybe you put this bullshit out. Start
Mm-hmm.
helping people today, even if it's imperfectly.
So
And
good. I love it.
as a helper that screamed at me.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't journal any of my growth years ago. If I could go back 10 years, I would have journaled my entire growth process that was like a 5-year thing, right? Where, now I used to care a lot about what people said. I used to be a perfectionist. Like I would lose sleep if I had a typo in an email. Perfectionist. Like it was bad. And now I'm just like, oh, here we go. And that's a huge deal. I wish that I would have journaled all of that. But my point is what you just said. I think that was probably a tipping point for me as well when somebody brought it to my attention. Like, you're worried about all of your things and it's selfish, it's bullshit, and you are keeping your genius that could be changing the life of somebody else. So I love that you brought that up.
Yes.
Document the journey. Yes, friends, if you don't learn anything else from me right now, it is if you're going on any kind of a journey and we're all doing something, right? Journal it, document it so that you can turn that shit into something later and make money off of it.
It's funny you bring that up because my Zodiac Tarot journal prompts was my very first funnel.
Tell us about that.
My Zodiac Tarot journal prompts are a free way that you can get a tarot experience without having to book with me or spend a single dime. I literally just follow the Zodiac across the sky. And like for Aries season, we're journaling about the tarot card associated with Aries, which was the Emperor, and then so forth and so forth. Right now we're in Leo season. So we are talking about the Strength card. Looks like really shiny. But yeah, so it's
Oh man, shoot, she's gone again. But her showing us that card right now, when she comes back, I'm gonna have her pull some cards because I think that would be fun, right? Like what's going on in the people that are watching this right now. And if you think that's a good idea, I don't care if you don't think it's a good idea. We're going to do it anyway. But I would love for you to tell me that you think it's a good idea in the chat. Christian.
I'm so annoyed.
It's fine. It's totally fine because I told the people watching this you gave me an idea, and I can't even believe I didn't think about this before. But I so love, again, on Wednesdays, when you pull your card for your quick win. So I think we should do that. Don't you think we should do that?
Oh my God.
Why didn't we think about that?
We didn't think about that, except I fucking did. Let me set up my tripod so I can use my hands.
Listen, if you thought about that, and I asked you multiple times what you wanted to talk about, you didn't tell me you wanted to talk about that, so I didn't even think about it.
All right, where did the cards go? Where are they? Oh, here they are. Okay. All right.
I'm ready.
What's a quick win? I'm just throwing cards around, see what happens. I would appreciate you saying what you need to say in one card only. Oh, what's that? One card exactly. 2 of Cups. Oh, we love this. Partnership. Teamwork makes the dream work. That and mutual respect. Yeah. And this is such a perfect card to come up during a one-on-one podcast. 2 of Cups. And it literally looks like, I'm using a Halloween, so it says 2 of Ghosts. My Halloween tarot.
I love it.
So ghost equal cups in this deck.
Why? I don't know if it's appropriate to ask questions, right? I've never been part of your quick win card draws. So why is that important for people watching this today?
Hey, you can't do all of it alone. You can't do everything alone. You got to have people in your orbit who understand your vision and are willing and able to help you. And you're going to laugh at me. I prepared a visual for this. You can't wear all the hats. Because do you know what happens when you wear all of the hats?
Please show me.
There's the hot dog hat. Here's my destroy hat.
Oh my God.
And here's my biker hat. And you can't wear them all because they fall off.
Where's the captain's hat?
Oh, shoot. Here it is. Also on my desk. I have all these fucking hats on my desk.
Yeah, and how many pairs of earrings do you have on your desk?
At least 6. I've got my new D&D earrings, my D20s, and my rainbow hearts, and my mushrooms. Super cute.
Those are super cute.
They're just all over. My desk is a disaster.
Well, I don't have any hats on my desk, but I do have 2 bracelets, and sometimes I do have a pair of earrings. So there's that. But going back to the point.
What point?
What point? Well, I loved how you brought up you can't wear all the hats, right? And somebody loves your hats. In fact, somebody else mentioned the cowboy hat. I don't know if I've seen the cowboy hat, but they brought it up.
I'm sure that I have one somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
Okay. But you can't do everything alone. You have to ask for help. Yeah, so let's do this in the chat. And whether you're watching this live or the replay, tell us one thing that you could use some help on. Like, do you need feedback on something? Do you have a collaboration that you are just you've dreamt up but you haven't found the right person? Like, how can we as a community come together and foster teamwork? I don't know what I was trying to say. Anyway, so put that in the chat. I'd love to see those things. And if let's see, what's here? Okay, that's the guidebook that's scrolling across the bottom. If you, and I know you did, loved hanging out with Christian and you want to know more about what she does or get a reading of your own, make sure, oh, look here, I have a Fight the Sun reading. Okay, yes. You can actually book a reading with Christian with this link that's scrolling across the bottom. I knew I wanted to put that up there and I forgot.
Yes. If you book with me, I will tell you some things you don't want to hear probably, but that you need to hear.
And here's the link in the chat too.
We can fight the sun together. It's a team effort.
Absolutely. Okay, so I don't know how, but 30 minutes has already flown by. So I feel like I wanted to talk about so much more. What final thoughts can we leave with the people with us today and those watching the replay?
See, one thing I did want to say is you are the first person that I ever heard say the word funnel. And when I heard the word funnel, I just thought funnel cake. And I liked it. And I just liked it. But, and made me like, that is now my second favorite F word. My very first favorite F word is funky. And I bet you didn't think it was going to be that.
I figured you were going to throw something at me. So I need to do some funky funnel, something or other. I love names, right? In fact, I have a new thing I'm going to do on Tuesdays that I have to figure out the other half of the title, but funky funnel. Oh, funky funnel flamingo. I don't know. I'll work on that, but that's funny. And yeah, I also, whenever I say the word funnel, often think of funnel cake. Just like when somebody mentions burritos or tacos all the time, I always want tacos.
Yeah.
But I digress. Anyway, okay, so based on the things that you've learned, what is this? This is August, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Holy cow, 9 months. In the last 9 months, because you are always around, so you hear me talk about funnels all the time. For anybody watching this, struggling, thinking that they have to do all these elaborate funnel type things, what would you say? And it doesn't matter if they're brand new or starting out. Everybody, if they are not a funnel person, struggles with this concept. I don't care who you are, or how established you are. What would be funnel funk? That's good. Coming from Motown Minx. Actually, I love that a lot.
That's
What would you
Lisa.
tell them? Oh,
I
Lisa's
already-
Motown Minx?
Yes, I already forgot
That
the
makes
question.
sense. Okay, I apologize. Lisa, stop. Okay, let's go back. For anybody, because everybody, no matter how established they are in their business, they struggle with the concept of funnels. A lot of people do not realize that you can do things that are free and simple. Everybody thinks that a funnel has to be this big, elaborate thing, and they get paralyzed. From everything you've learned in the last 9 months that we've been friends, what would you tell people watching this that feel that way?
Throw money at JKN. Let her do it.
Shoot, now I have to write you a check.
But no, seriously, like my strategy so far has been step 1, be a silly goose. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, profit. I'm just literally following dopamine and vibes. I'm
Okay.
just doing what feels fun.
We're going to work on scaling that for you too. But what you just said, though, is also working for you because I know you have several people. Remember, I put on the graphics for this event that you are a content creator. I tell everybody I know to follow Christian because you are just a freaking hoot. I love watching your stuff. And I think that whether you're, and in case you were curious, I'm not a woo-woo person. Like, I'm not into astrology. I like to listen to my friends who talk about it because it's very interesting. And apparently, I wonder if sometime I shouldn't do a live and like let you and Dira talk about my birth chart because I don't know. I think it would be entertaining, but it's also all about me. So other people might not find it entertaining. But you tell me things. Apparently, my birth chart is very interesting.
It
is. You say funny things about it. So
yes.
I don't know where I was going with that, but I do think everybody should follow you. Oh, that was my point. Whether you're into it or not, you're a fantastic person to follow because you make it fun and understandable. That's where I was going with that.
I appreciate that. There is one final thing that I want to say.
Of course.
If you need help, get with Christine Ferguson, because she literally gave me an organization boner, and I dare you to use that as a testimonial.
Christine, I will be sure to send you the recording of this so that you can pull that out, because that's a pretty good testimonial. Okay, yeah. Christian, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for bringing Michael and Bolton, and the hat demonstration was fantastic. I appreciate that as well. Guys, if you would like to see Christian as one of my speakers in the big summit that's coming up, the Purpose and Profits Summit that is coming up in September, put that in the comments as well. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out with us on this fun, fabulous Friday. And we will see you next week, where my guest is a master at sales. Excuse me. A master at sales. So you're not going to want to miss that. It's also going to be fun because I don't know how not to have fun. Thank you.
Well,
see y'all next time.
Thank you.